Karabo Letlhatlha, CNBC Africa's political reporter, is here, and he was attending the Economic Freedom Fighters press conference today. The president, Julius Malema, was there. He doesn't want us to say president, wants to say CIC, Commander-in-Chief Militarization there. And his deputy was also there, he with a little bit of a cloud hanging over him. What was the mood like?
The cloud that extends into the wider party as a whole. The mood was of expectation. There was a lot of press that was there. I think there was a lot of expectation as to the kind of Julius we'll see there. There was even some intimation that we'll see the Julius who used to be ANC Youth League president who threw out a journalist. So there was a lot of expectation, and we expected the media to get attacked as part of the press conference as well, and rightfully so. Everything checked.
Yeah. So we heard a lot from Julius today, and let's begin with the key thing, I think, his reference to the report. Did you get any sign of acceptance that this is the report that's been prepared by a lawyer, it's been presented to the government, and it's got evidence of wrongdoing there, and therefore, by extension, there must be some blame?
Well, denials. Politics would be, left reeling if it wasn't for it. We expected Julius to say some things. What he said is really, there's a lot of people who are challenging this report, and depending on whether or not they're successful, it depends. It also weighs in on the report itself. So if they are successful, the report is null and void, and if they're not, then everybody else should be prosecuted. The problem is figuring out where the money comes from. So he's really went into detail as to the defense that he will offer his deputy president, and by extension, I guess, the political party. What he's saying is that there's been exchanges of money between Brian and his brother, Floyd Shivambu.
Like all brothers do.
You know, but he wouldn't know because he doesn't have any siblings. That's Julius Malema. But they have been exchanging money since 2014. And what's so different about this money? And there was no way of seeing where this money comes from.
What amounts of money? If you and I are exchanging R1 million or 5 million rand, thank you very much, or is it 10 million rand? Come on. I've got to be asking my brother, where is the money coming from?
You've never been that kind of brother to me, and I've given up. But I am sure and that's what he was trying to ascertain. So what they're saying is Brian's position. They're keeping with that position that Brian worked for the holding company of VBS, which is the majority shareholder, Vele Investments, and that the money should have come from Vele, not from VBS, and ultimately, he's not responsible for where the money comes from. And he's only responsible for the
question, of course, has got to be, did he get paid fairly for whatever amount of work that he did? That question will be answered one day.
Depends on how much you can charge for 18 months or so. But yeah, I mean, some millions.
Show me where you can charge that amount of money. Let's talk the blame game. There was a lot of blaming today. Before I come to you, let's take a look at his portion of blame.
Reserve Bank is the police of banks. Where was the Reserve Bank? Why are you vindicating the authorities?
What has been the role of the National Treasury? What has been the role of the Prudential Authority in preventing the collapse of banks? I'll tell you why we have to emphasize the role of National Treasury. Because this mutual bank, VBS, and the Grahamstown Building Society, which is a mutual bank, have been receiving municipal deposits from 2014, and National Treasury knew about that. The person who is supposed to oversee that municipalities are not exposed to wrong financial practices, including receiving or taking money from mutual banks, is Ismail Momoniat.
Why do we have a face of Brian Shibambo as a face of the VBS loot? When you've got the whole treasurer of a province in Limpopo, when you've got the whole deputy chairperson of the ANC in Limpopo, when you've got the municipalities depositing money, the people today just know the municipalities. They don't know that those are ANC municipalities. You know why? It's because of embedded journalism. I'm looking for a loan book of VPS. Mutaung report doesn't tell you about the loan book. There's a mess in the loan book. And that's what I'm looking for.
Everybody's fault, but of course, the man who's being accused.
Of course.
And of course, including you and I. Are you
one
of the embedded?
Of course. I don't know. Am I captured? Do we sound as captured?
Singing Ramaphosa's tunes so he wins next
year's election? No. Ramaphosa's got no friends with me. and it's going to be very difficult to even change that.
But it was interesting isn't it, to hear him go after the media so strongly.
Look, I think what Julius is trying to say, and for me, this is a global phenomenon, because we've seen politicians attack the media before. We've seen Donald Trump attack the media, went on to become the most powerful man in the world. So I'm wondering if this is all part of a ploy or something. And he's really trying to get the media almost, if you will, to take accountability for their own shortcomings. So let's be honest. The ruling party is the African National Congress, and the EFF is not really in any position of authority, and they are part of a coalition. And what he's saying is that we are not apportioning the blame to the politicians which had the political power from the ruling party, the municipal managers who authorized the chief financial officers of those municipalities to make the deposits within these entities when they knew that they shouldn't. And on that part, I agree with Julius to a certain extent. I don't think that he is necessarily blameless, nor the EFF, and I think that a lot more is still going to come out than where we are now.
Let's take one more clip and then we'll close it out.
Many people have said they are going to challenge the report. So it's not for me to say I believe it or not. The implicated people are saying they are challenging the report. So if they are successful, it means the report is null and void. If they are not successful, it means there are bases for law enforcement to move in and start prosecuting people. We have never received any money from Sgamega or Grand Azania or anything of that sort in the EFF. I'm not scared of Floyd. I've never been scared of anyone. I'm not scared of Floyd. If Floyd has stolen money, he will be punished accordingly. Give me something that demonstrates that Floyd benefited from the VBS.
Your final impressions?
I think he did well for the EFF. I think, though, it's going to be harder for the EFF's political currency to merge with their public view. The political currency that says we represent the marginalized, the black, the unemployed, those that are trying to get a leg up, compared to, movements of some 10 million.
Could he have said, we're suspending Floyd until he clears his name?
I think he's finding it difficult to do that because he would need almost to have his own view, or the EFF would need to have their own view. What they're saying is rubbishing the report as a whole, saying that it names unnamed sources within the Reserve Bank. And according to him, there should be no such things.
Absolutely.
And this is all part of a bigger ploy. Praveen Gordhan is involved, and we're all, catering to him. And he busts journalists to Limpopo to expose Malema's own tax problems before busing them back. So really, Praveen is the boogeyman, Cyril is loved by all media, and the EFF is just boxing from the bottom. That is what I take away from it.
Karabo, thanks very much indeed.
Thank you, sir.